Hey everybody, this is Bo again. I just reviewed the Crossway ESV Heirloom wide margin yesterday. Now I've gotten some requests for some comparisons, and I mentioned doing this comparison in the video. This is the wide margin, and these two are Omegas. The middle one, the black one, is the 80th anniversary edition Omega, and the one on the bottom is the deep brown Omega. And I'm going to show you how they compare. So again, the top is the Heirloom wide margin. It has that grainy deep brown goatskin cover, and you can see the spine is a little different than the Omegas. It has an additional rib and the additional ESV. Really they're pretty much similar there. The size difference, it's the same height, pretty much the same height, but it is just a smidge wider. You can see there, it's about a half an inch wider of a block. But it does have an inner margin and an outer margin. The way they achieve that is they make the columns more narrow, and I'm going to show you that. Let's just open it up. Now, the reason I have two Omegas here is that the 80th has a different cover. This liners is a smoother, flowier liner, probably a thinner liner, where this 80th, this deep brown Omega has a little bit thicker of a liner. It's more similar to the wide margin. So we'll just compare the deep brown versus deep brown. So let's open it up and give you an idea of the differences. All right, so let me get to somewhere similar so you can see how they compare. Now, I'm not using I've been trying to use a tripod to make the videos a little more steady, but being that we have two Bibles, I have to back it up and bring it closer. It's just a little easier to use it in my hand. So anyway, so let's see, we're at Proverbs 24 on one. We'll just do a page for page. The pagination is different. So I know I had a question about that in the wide margin review. The wide margin has more pages, and it's kind of weird because the Omega is a larger print, but the wide margin doesn't have as much text on each page because of the margins. So anyway, all right. So here we are. Let's go to Proverbs 25 here. Proverbs 25 here. You can see this is a 10-point font, but it looks like there's a little more ghosting because the print size is so much bigger than on the wide margin. They both have 28 GSM paper, but they have the same layout with the references in the bottom right corner on each page. But you can see that the columns are just a lot more narrow on the wide margin to give you this inner margin and this outer margin for writing. And you also have a bottom margin. Not much on the top, but you do have the three sides with decent margin. And in the Omega, you don't have much margin at all. The text is about a 1/4 inch from the gutter, and you only have about a 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch outer margin, but you do have the larger text. So if text size is a big issue for you, probably stick with the Omega and use a notebook. But if you can get by with the difference in text size, this is a 9-point font, this is a 10-point font. If you can get by with the difference in text size, you'll have this extra writing room. So they both come with 4 ribbons. They both have the same features as far as the references. It's the same reference suite. It's the same all around, the same Bible, aside from the layout differences in text size. So as far as the thickness, I showed you the width of the Bible. It's different. The thickness is the same, so they're both about the same thickness. The wide margin is slightly wider, and they're about the same height, but the wide margin is slightly taller. But the the biggest difference is the text layout. So hopefully that's helpful. I know that that's not a lot to go on. The goat skin itself, this deep brown goat skin of the wide margin is very much similar to, hang on, let me grab one here, sorry, to the Skylar thin tail. If you like the goat skin, these are both printed and bound by Youngblood. The Skylar thin tail goat skin, which is way more grainy typically, is very similar to this this Crossway wide margin, heirloom wide margin, where the other Omegas, they're grainy. This one's pretty grainy, but it's softer. It's really soft. And the 80th anniversary edition is much finer grain, and it's really soft. I mean, it's really smooth. This is much grainier, which I actually really like the grainier goat skin. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful for you guys. And when you're making your decisions on Bibles, like I said, it is the 28 GSM paper, but it really looks good. And everybody that I know that has the heirloom wide margin, they initially complain about the thinness of the paper, but I've never heard them complain about it bleeding through. As long as you use the right pens, I think you'll be fine with writing in it. So that's just something to consider. But if you're weighing the options between the Omega and the heirloom wide margin, you know, I don't have a problem with a 9-point text. So I like the wide margin. However, I don't write in my Bibles very much. So I would probably lean more toward the Omega and carrying another notebook alongside with it. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful for you guys. I'm also going to do another comparison between the heirloom wide margin and the Cambridge wide margin that I'll upload behind this one. So anyway, let me know if you have any other questions. If you want to see it compared, or any of these compared with other editions, I'd love to do the video for you. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to look down here and subscribe. I do a lot of Bible reviews and tutorials and all kind of cool stuff. So just thanks for watching, and God bless.